just take a step back from Westminster politics for a moment and head to Ukraine, where the capital, Kyiv, came under attack from what's been described as kamikaze drones early this morning. Catherine Philp is the Times' diplomatic correspondent. She's in Kyiv, and we can speak to her now. Catherine, describe what happened this morning.
Hi, Matt. Yeah, so it was pretty early. It was about 6:30 when the sirens went off in Kyiv, which has actually been happening quite a lot in the last week or so. But then something entirely new happened, which was that a swarm of these drones, kamikaze drones, as they're known, because they crash into their targets and then explode. Several explosions were heard across the city. It turned out that in all, over 30 of these drones had been dispatched towards the capital. And a large number of them were actually shot down, but 3 made impact at 6:30 in the morning, and then several more at just after 8 o'clock. And very sadly, one of the buildings hit in that was a residential building that was brought down entirely by this drone, and 3 people there were killed, including a young couple who were expecting their first child. So it's a personal sort of tragedy for people in Kyiv, as well as an unprecedented attack by this drone weaponry that Russia is now being supplied by Iran.
Yeah, just describe, because this is a sort of this is a new use of drones, and what difference does that make to Russia's ability to reach deeper into Ukraine?
Yeah, well, in Ukraine, we've only seen this drone used in about the last month and a half, and it's possibly even less. It's mostly been used in frontline positions. So we've seen it used where the Ukrainian army were advancing around Kharkiv. The Russians used it there to try and hit some of the Western supplied mid-range, missiles that we've seen used to such great effect. So they've been using it to try and use that. This is the first time they've sent it in to the capital, Kyiv, in this way. And it comes after last week, the Russians rained down something like 80 cruise missiles in one day on cities all around Ukraine, including Kyiv. Now, the calculus there from people watching that was that the Russians are probably running quite short on things like cruise missiles. This turn towards these drones, which do have a surprisingly long range and could be probably these ones were sent from neighboring Belarus, is that they're a cheaper way in which you can strike the capital, still to quite severe effect, clearly by what happened today. But also they're sent in swarms, so they can potentially overload the air defenses that there are. They fly very low, so low, in fact, that they could be seen from the streets of Kyiv. And in fact, some police and soldiers opened fire and brought one of them down. It's a very clear day in Kyiv, so you could very clearly see that the shape of these drones, very distinctive delta shape against the blue sky. But yeah, they do come in far lower than most of those things that radar is designed to catch.